Hello and welcome. In today's video we are going to learn how to make this tiered dress with ruffle sleeves for a 6-year-old child. If this is a video you are interested in learning, then let's get started. The required measurement to drafting this dress will be left in the description box below. So I have a piece of paper here. I have the shoulder line drawn this way. I'm going to input half of my shoulder length and then mark it. And then from the shoulder length, I'm going to mark my chest line. So I'm going to mark it out and then draw a reference line across this way. Then on this chest line, I'm going to input my shoulder length here and then draw a line from the chest line to touch the shoulder line this way. Then the next I'm going to do is to input my neck measurement. I'll be doing a neck depth and then a neck width of 3 by 2 inches. So 3 on the shoulder line and then the depth will be 2 inches. Then I'll go ahead and then draw my neck curve this way. So for the front of this dress, I'm going to drop the shoulder by 1 inch. So I'll mark it out here and then draw the shoulder slope this way. So I'm going to divide this line into 2. So I have a little over 2.5 inches. I'll mark it out on this line and then draw a reference line across, and then I'm going to go in by half an inch, then reconnect to my shoulder slope this way. Then I'm inputting a quarter of my bust measurement on the chest line this way. Then the next I'll do is to draw my armhole curve beautifully. So for the length of this dress, I am working with 30 inches. So I'm going to measure 30 inches from my shoulder line to the hem of this dress, mark it out, and then draw a reference line across. I'm going to input the measurement I have on my chest line. I'm going to repeat that measurement on the hem of this dress, and I'll be adding an extra 3 inches to this mark this way. This is going to form my A-line pattern that I'll be using to design this dress. So the next I will do is to connect a line from the hem of this dress to touch the chest line this way. And we are done with drafting the front pattern. So we'll move to drafting the back pattern. So for the back, this is my starting line, which will serve as my shoulder line. And then this is my center back here. So the first thing I'm going to do is to input a half of my shoulder length onto the shoulder line here, and then I'll input my chest line like we did for the front, mark it out, and then draw a reference line across this way. Then I'm going to input my shoulder length onto the chest line and connect the chest line to the shoulder line this way. Then for the back, we are doing a neck depth and a neck width of 3 by 1 inch. So I'll draw my back neck beautifully. Then I'll drop the shoulder by half an inch for the back. So half inch here, and I'll reconnect to my neck this way. So this is my shoulder slope here. Remember, for the front we divided into 2 and we got a little over 2.5 inches. So I'll mark that measurement on this line this way. Draw a reference line across and then repeat what we did for the front. Go in by half an inch and then draw a line to touch the shoulder slope. Then the next I'll do is to input a quarter of my bust measurement on the chest line. Then I'll draw my armhole curve. Remember, this is a very simple tutorial for any beginner. So like we did for the front, we are going to input the full length of this dress, 30 inches, onto the hem, and then basically repeat everything we did for the front onto the back pattern. So we'll add an extra 3 inches to the hem and reconnect to the chest line. So this is the pattern for the back. So this is it. I have cut out my pattern pieces, my front and my back. Remember, I'll be cutting this pattern on fold. The next I'm going to do is to shorten this pattern by 7 inches for both the front and then the back. So I'll mark it from the center front 7 inches, draw a reference line across, and repeat same for the back, 7 inches from the center back, draw the reference line across, and then cut it out. So I've shortened this dress pattern in order to be able to suit the design we have in mind. So these are my pattern papers for both the front and then the back. So let's go ahead and then cut this on the main fabric. So this is the fabric I'll be using. This is a denim fabric. I have folded it into two. Remember, we are cutting both the front and then the back on fold. So for the front and back, I'm adding 1/2 inch seam allowances to every part of this pattern except for the side pattern, which I'll be doing 1 inch, and then the hem I'll be doing 1 inch seam allowance for both the front and then the back. Then I'll go ahead and then cut my pattern piece out this way. So I'm going to repeat the same thing in cutting the back pattern. So this is it. I have cut out my front beautifully. It's been cut on fold, and then this is my back pattern. I'm cutting it out. This is very simple and easy to follow. I hope you are enjoying this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. So these are my patterns for both the front and then the back. Looking so beautiful already. So from the center back, I'm going to go down by 4 inches and then mark it out. This is the back pattern. 4 inches, mark it out, and I'm going to cut this out up to the 4-inch mark I marked there. Then I'm going to come in with this small piece of fabric. I'm going to divide it but not cut through. Cut it this way. Then I'll open the back pattern this way. This is the back, the right side of it. You see I've cut it out beautifully. I'm going to place this small piece of fabric, right side facing each other, onto the main fabric. Then I'm going to pin it down. This is going to cater for my button and then my buttonhole. So this is the opening for the back. So I'm pinning it down. Now I'm going to stitch this down on the sewing machine. So after stitching it down, I'm going to be placing the front pattern on top of the back pattern, right sides facing each other. Then I will join the shoulders together. So after joining the shoulders, this is what we have. Unfortunately, I forgot to add a loop, so I had to remove the stitch at the back slightly, and then this small loop I have is going to take care of my button. So I'll fold it this way and place it on the main fabric and then the small piece of fabric. Now head back to my sewing machine and then stitch it down. I've joined the ruffles for the back pattern. Look at how it looks like. So beautiful. I'm going to be illustrating this on the front pattern. So this is it. This is the front, and I have 2 long pieces of fabric here. This is the very big one. This is 2.5 times the length of the hem of this dress. So I have the length as about 9.5 inches, and then for the smaller one, the length is 5 inches, a little over 5 inches. So this is it here. Remember, the length is 2.5 times the hem of this dress. So I'll head to my sewing machine and then draw gathers on both the big and then the small piece of fabric. So this is it here. This is what the gathers looks like beautifully. So the next I'm going to do is on the hem of this dress. I have marked out 1 inch. This is where I'll be joining my ruffles. So on this 1 inch mark, I'm going to be placing the big ruffle on the mark and then add the smaller ruffle on top of this big ruffle. So I'm going to hold both of them together this way. Then I'm going to pin them down on that 1 inch mark I drew on this dress, and then hold them down with pins from one side to the other side of this dress. So remember to do this gently. Take your time to do it so that the pattern comes out so well. And then I'll head to my sewing machine and then stitch this down. So after stitching it down, this is what we have here for the front, looking so pretty already. So the next I'm going to do is to clean the neck of this dress with a bias tip. So I've cut out this bias here from the denim fabric I'm working with. So I'm going to be using it to clean the neck beautifully. So after doing this, see how the neck looks like. So beautiful, so neat. This is how the back looks like. Then the next I'm going to do is to work on the sleeve. And to be able to work on this sleeve, I'm going to determine how long I want this sleeve to be on this dress. So I'm going to be marking 4 inch from the shoulder down. 4 inch, I'll mark it on one side of this armhole, and then to the other side too, I'll mark that 4 inch. So this is for the front, 4 inch for the front, and then the back 4 inch. So together I have 8 inches. So I have this pieces of fabric I have cut out to design my sleeves. This is it. This in total is about 16.5 inches in length, and then the width is about 4.5 inches. So I will put the two together, and then what I will do next is to fold the fabric together this way. And then on the folded side, I'm going to come in with my chalk and then design this sleeve. So from the top here, I'm going to draw a curve to touch the tip of this fabric this way. So after doing this, I'll cut it out neatly. So these are my sleeve patterns here. I'll head to my sewing machine and then hem the curved part of this sleeve, and then on the straight part I'm going to draw gathers. Yes, so I'll do the same for the other sleeve pattern. So this is it. This is the sleeve on this dress. I have drawn the gathers beautifully. I'm going to be stitching this sleeve on this dress, and I'll do that by adding a bias to the armhole of this dress so that the armhole will be very neat. So I'll place my sleeve on top of this dress, then I'll bring in my bias tape, pin the bias on top of this dress, so the sleeve is in between the bias and then the main fabric. So I'll pin it down from one side of the armhole to the other, then I'll head to my sewing machine and use this bias to clean the armhole beautifully so that the design will come out neatly. So when I stitch it down, this is how it is going to look like. Yes, so beautiful. So I'm going to head to my sewing machine and then stitch it down. Yeah, then I'll top stitch afterwards. So this is it. The sleeve has been attached to this dress. It's looking so gorgeous and neat. You see? So this is it here. The next I'm going to do is to stitch the sides of this dress together. As you can see, we are almost done with this dress. So I'm going to be stitching this down on 1 inch seam allowance, the initial seam allowance we added when drafting this dress. So this is the final outcome of this dress, looking so gorgeous, so beautiful. I hope you found this tutorial very easy, and then you continue to subscribe and then turn on your notifications so you are notified each time we make a post. Thank you so much for making time to watch this video. We'll see you in our next video.